The Yimin Festival is a Taiwanese Hakka festival. It commemorates the Hakka soldiers who defended their land against invaders during the Qing dynasty. 200 soldiers died and were named Yimin. This yearly festival honors their sacrifice. The festival is the biggest event in the Hakka calendar. Held over several days, it involves temple rituals, offering the divine pig, classical and modern song performances. Relatives from overseas time their visits to coincide with the festival so that the family can be together during this period. The festival ends with a great water banquet, which different villages take turns in hosting. The whole village comes together to put on a great feast where everyone is welcome and the food is completely free. It showcases the hospitality of the Hakka and the unity of the people as they come together to eat. The festival highlights the Hakka struggle for land, for a sense of belonging. The Hakka have historically been a people who are constantly driven from their land by stronger ethnic groups. The term Hakka means guest or stranger families. Being able to successfully defend their land in Taiwan meant that they could have a legacy of land ownership, which would lead to peace and security for future generations. This ethos of leaving a legacy for children still exists today, though in the form of wealth and assets rather than land. Hakka are renowned for working hard and saving money. When asked why she works so hard, one mother said, "For the sake of my children." However, leaving a legacy is not always straightforward. Inheritances have been chewed up by the global financial crisis. Children squander their parents' hard-earned wealth. Family unity is threatened by the next generation wanting to migrate to Australia, New Zealand, Canada. Who then will perpetuate the legacy and hold the family together? If land and wealth can't hold a family together, what can? This longing to leave a legacy, to ensure security for future generations, is an admirable one. However, no one can know what will happen in the future. No one can control the events which will bring about the rise or fall of our descendants. No one, except for our Creator God. This same God has said, "If you love me and obey my laws, I will be kind to your families for thousands of generations." The problem is, we don't love or obey God. It all started with the first man and woman. God placed them in a beautiful land, a place where they and their children could live in security. But they dishonored God by disobeying Him and brought shame on themselves. God drove them out of the land He had given them, and their descendants were homeless for hundreds of years, forced to wander. They too, like the Hakka, were homeless. Yet, when God brought them back from exile, they never did feel the sense of peace and security at returning home. Then Jesus came. The Son of God gave up His home in heaven to wander homeless on earth. He bore the shame of His people, of dishonoring and disobeying their Father, and died on the cross. He was publicly humiliated. But God restored honor on Jesus by raising Him from the dead. And if God's people believed in Jesus, then God would restore honor to them, so that they could truly return home to God and feel the peace and security they desperately wanted. Today we might have a place to call home, yet feel a sense of alienation. We might have a roof over our heads, but we don't feel the peace of having arrived. This is because we have all dishonored God, and shame separates us from Him. We have all brought shame on ourselves by not acknowledging God as God, and rather than obeying His commands, we obey our own desires. What if I told you that it's possible to find our home, to feel the peace and security of knowing that we belong, to know that the legacy we pass on to our children is eternal and will not be destroyed by uncontrollable forces? The same Jesus who took away the shame of His people can take away our shame. If we trust Him, He will restore honor to us so that we can return home shameless God our Father. If we trust Him, He will be kind to us and to our future generations, because this home is eternal. And He is waiting for us with a huge banquet. Just as the Yemen festival ends with a great water banquet where everyone is welcome, where the food is completely free, so God is waiting for us with a great banquet where everyone is welcome. You just have to believe that Jesus died for you, taking your shame, so that you can enter God's home shameless.